the streaming world of what he believes to be of quality. But there is, unseen by most, an episodic horror-based TV show. A show that still holds up. A show called Tales from the Dark Side.
I'm in a position to assure that you will not be cheated out of years you have coming to you. How? By providing you with a very special little package of protection.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Talks from the Dark Side, the podcast where we talk about Tales from the Dark Side, the 80s horror anthology television show created by George Romero and Richard Rubinstein. I'm Joel Escola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
And I'm Chris Barr.
Today we're talking about Lifebomb, directed by Frank DePalma and written by Michael P. Kube-McDowell from October 6th, 1985.
All right, Season 2, Episode 2.
Yeah.
We're moving right along.
Right into it, man.
Here we go. Our good friend Frank DePalma's back.
Brian DePalma.
Oh, yes, right.
Oh, yeah, right. We can't forget that joke.
It's his half-brother.
That through line's got to keep going. Keep saying it. You just keep saying it, Chris.
It's good.
Frank DePalma...
Put on your life bomb. Or
I got this thing strapped to my back. Frank DePalma is an alumni of this series. We've talked about him before. He did The New Man. He did All Cloned by the Telephone. It all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, a whole bunch of good solid ones.
Yeah, we still got a lot coming up from him too.
Yep.
So strap in.
Very apropos for
Yes.
this episode.
So with that being said, do you want to do the Fangoria synopsis for us, please?
Yeah, so the official Fangoria synopsis from 1986 is a high-pressure executive with a heart condition purchases a fail-safe device which will supposedly stave off death in the event of a cardiac arrest. But the life bomb protects its wearer all too well, as the overworked man soon learns.
Ooh,
Not giving too much away.
No, I don't think it gives it away at all.
I mean,
really.
there's not too much to give away either way.
Yeah, because you need to know the minutia of what exactly is happening for it to even make sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So-
Overworked man, by the way. That I mean, for the Fangoria synopsis, sure, but man, this guy
Is
he's
a workaholic.
that
he-
won't retire
Yeah.
just because he just loves work, and you just nailed it, Joe.
Well, because he's built this empire, and like he's just like trying to secure, I don't know, the life of 17 generations after him, because he's like a multi-billionaire guy who runs this thing called
It's fucking like Scrooge or something.
Yeah, he runs this thing called Mine Pack, which is like a
Yeah.
mining company that mines I don't know what.
And
But-
it's like kind of shady. Like whenever it comes up, you tell they're up to no good. There's always like,
Oh yeah.
accidents and stuff. And
Oh,
what are you doing?
You're trying to cover it up, pay him off, all that kind of stuff. So Ben Martin is
Yeah.
this guy, and he's played by Bill Macy, and he's been in a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of TV. He was in The Jerk, and he was on
Okay.
Seinfeld.
Okay.
I mean, this is the only thing I've seen him in. So.
Sure.
Sometimes we get lucky with the IMDb deep dives, but
Sometimes there's not much to talk about, you know?
I mean, he might be a very memorable Seinfeld character, but he's not ringing any bells right now.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a workaholic. He's got a heart condition. He has to take pills for his heart condition and shit. And basically what's happening within the company is there was a mining accident, and like 15 or 20 of these miners died, and he needs like reparations for the families, which is costing him like a crazy amount of money.
Oh no!
But like
People died under your watch, and you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Well, they paid for it, and the whole thing is like they want more money because these are people's lives we're talking about.
Sure.
And his whole thing is like, I don't know, what do they want from me? They got what they've been
I
promised.
gave him $1,000.
Yeah, well,
Whatever.
yeah. I sent them a T-shirt and a thank you
Yeah,
bag.
they
What's
got
the
a
big
card and
deal?
balloons.
I sent them flowers.
Yeah.
What else do they want?
They're bleeding me dry.
They got what they've been promised, guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was what the insurance
he's-
said they were going to get, and that's what they got.
That's what kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he's a real,
Yep.
he's one of those.
This is one of those EC staples just plucked out of the magazine and just stuck into this script. The piece of shit old man that's greedy and can't see the bigger picture.
Well, yeah, not only for himself, well, he sees it for himself.
Well,
but
right,
not
greedy.
for the-
Yeah, that's part of it, man.
Not for the rest of humanity or even his own health, as we find out.
Right.
Yeah, he's a little bit of like a Scrooge, just sort of like
Like
very
literally
focused on what he's on his work, and that's it.
I mean, he's ignoring his wife.
Yep.
He's ignoring his kids. It's very like, I need to stay late. If I can't work late, you can't work late,
Yeah.
and then I can't work late, kind of thing. So he gets like this unannounced solicitor comes. He's like a salesman, and he has him come in, and he's trying to sell him this new policy for his like part of his life insurance called Lifebomb. And he's like, yeah, I got all the insurance I need and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, you got insurance, but does it prevent you from dying? You know what I mean?
And he's from the Vita Eterna life insurance.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's like eternal life insurance policy.
I love though how Mr. Martin is like, yeah, you know, I know all about insurance. He's like, I sell insurance, I buy insurance, I know all about this. What's the catch? Like if
there's
I'm
always
doing this,
I can't see it yet, but there's always a catch.
Yeah, exactly.
He says.
Like,
He's
no
like,
catch, Mr. Martin.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Martin. All of our clients are from Fortune 500 companies, and all we want to do is protect the.
Gives him like a list.
Yeah,
he's
gives
like,
him a
yeah,
whole
I know
list.
him.
Yeah. Oh, that guy, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
I forget what it is.
All the big players.
Yeah.
See?
So he's like, I'll demonstrate it for you, and this guy explodes in his seat, and Martin like just about fucking keels over and dies. And
Yeah, like giant poof of smoke takes up the whole room, and all of a sudden the guy's not there.
yeah, and you're like, where did he go?
Yeah.
So he looks over the desk, and this guy is wrapped up with looks like a giant paper mache carrot.
Yeah.
All right, with like
a cocoon or something.
yeah, it's like a cocoon, and he like opens it like opens like a pod, and he's like, see, Mr. Martin, I'm fine.
He sets up like the Undertaker or Frankenstein or something. He's like, yeah, exactly. I'm fine. Yeah, look at me. I couldn't be better.
He's like, it's got electrolysis in it. It gives you oxygen if you need it. It gives you adrenaline, medicine, all this bullshit, and like it keeps you alive
They'll
until
call
the
an
doctors
ambulance
come
for you
Yeah.
while you're waiting.
Yeah, it
Then it
keeps you
shows
alive.
like the shot from his back, and there's like a hole blown out in this like race.
And it's like, wait a second,
Yeah.
what goes there?
And at first he's like, yeah, no, that looks important. I'm good. I don't need that attached to me at all times. He's like, okay.
He's like, well, if you ever need it, just give us a call. We'll be in touch. So he leaves. And like we get the first of like one of his bouts of like he's gonna have a heart attack.
I know. I think this fucking salesman's working with the devil that fucking did please don't help me dirty.
Oh yeah, Farley Granger's definitely got something to do with it,
like
probably.
fucking up this guy's like heart.
It's even more sinister than the devil when we find out what happens at the end. So like I was mentioning before, those miners' families come and they're like doing another lawsuit against them. And it's like 30 million workers or like $30 million for these workers.
They're not happy.
They're unhappy with what they got paid out. And they're like, $30 million? That's insane. He's like, they got what they've been promised.
Yeah.
And he goes and he almost has a fucking heart attack.
I love how his secretary's like, well, we probably should do it. It's kind of like sucking the company dry, making us look bad. And he's like, I don't care. I paid them what they're owed.
So you just watch this guy getting all like worked up and like,
yeah, exactly.
And he freaks out, and then we get a brief scene with him and his wife at home, and he's been like, she's like, when are we gonna like go away and like do stuff together? Like all you do is work all the time.
She's had it. She's completely had it.
She's done.
Yeah.
She's like trying to get laid, and he's just like, nah, I'm going to
work.
bed.
Well, he keeps going like, you know the situation.
So before he he gets like sick and he almost like has another heart attack. So he goes back to work. Like he like comes home to take a shower and then goes back to work.
No time to waste.
At like 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And he's there and he's like giving he's on a recorder and he finally has another heart attack. And then he's like, oh shit. So he calls Lifebomb guy. He like has this back and forth with the guy. And he's like, I play this little game in my head where about when I die, and I look at my wife and my children. I'm like, I'm gonna be dead soon, and all this stuff. Like, what would happen to them? And the fact of the matter is, he has like a ton of life insurance, so they would be taken care of if he passed away. He's worth more dead than he is alive.
Well, right. At the end of the day, he's trying to justify him getting this procedure done so that he just doesn't die. But he's like, well, no, it's because of my wife and kid, and it's not because I love to work so much.
Yeah, well, he wants the best future for them, so he signs up for the Lifebomb and he gets it. And it's this giant box that gets installed on his back with all this stuff. And he goes home and he's like, I feel great. And his wife's like, I hate that thing on your back.
It's keeping me alive.
It's huge.
It's huge. He's like, I have to give up sunbathing and blah blah blah, but that's fine.
It's like this like X-Men looking thing attached to him.
It's like strapping on the proton pack.
Yeah.
But he's like, he's like, look, I was thinking about our future, and she's like, that's not what I meant. Like, I wanted to like go away and like spend time with you, not make sure you didn't
Have you
die.
wearing this big backpack?
Yeah.
The doctor said I'd have to wear it. So yeah, he's back in his office, ends up having a heart attack, and the thing explodes, and his secretary freaks out, and he's wrapped up in this big carrot.
It is the worst effect. I mean, it's kind of cool that it's stop motion. A part of me is like, well, I appreciate that, but the other part of me is like, damn, that looked bad.
No, it's shitty.
Oh, it's bad.
It's like 6 frames per second.
Excuse me, it happens twice. The first time is in the bedroom right here.
Oh,
Yeah, but they only show the stop motion the one time.
I know, but like when it explodes, his wife like flies back on the bed.
Yeah,
It's like a free fireworks show.
right, yeah, because he's getting in an argument with her, and it hits him right.
He like squeezes out his toothpaste and shit or whatever he's holding.
It's like the way they did it the first time was fine. It just shows smoke, cut to like the guy not there,
and then cut to the thing.
but showing it in detail of like this like
the wraps.
this just bad stop motion.
I don't
It's not
know.
even kind of like
It's kind of fun though.
It is, yeah, I guess.
Like it looks like shit, but I
If you want to
appreciate
give it
it.
an excuse, sure, it's kind of fun.
It's for TV. I
it
mean,
gives it charm for sure.
Yeah.
there's something about it too that just real quick. I just want to mention like the stop motion for that particular piece, and then when we get to monsters, there's an episode with like stop motion rats that we'll talk about.
Oh.
But that doesn't look great either, and I
No.
think it was a problem of the frame rate, like shooting it for television and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, I could see
Maybe
that.
I don't know.
Some kind of Gumby shit.
Who knows? So he ends up going to the hospital, and his wife is there, and she's like, "Oh my God, thank God you're alive," and blah blah blah. Insurance guy comes in, and he's like, "I can't die anymore," and he's like, "No, we have all these satisfied customers. You did the right thing," and he's like, "Are you sure I did the right thing?" He's like, "Yes, sirree. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again, okay?"
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to take it easy and like take a vacation or whatever. He's like, "Okay, I'll try."
And he can't take it easy.
No.
It's like every time
Doesn't
he's
know
like, his wife's begging to him. It's like he doesn't stop.
No.
He's not gonna.
Well, then he's on like the phone with someone, and he's like screaming.
The mayor
Yeah,
or
he's-
some shit. And,
Oh,
like,
you gotta do this! You can't not do it.
well, because he's trying to like do something with his campaign or something
Yeah.
like that, and he's like, "Yeah, we can't do you can't wait until the campaign's over and blah blah blah. We gotta do it now."
Getting all worked up again.
Boom.
So,
Heart
like
goes.
collapses, drops the phone.
His secretary runs in. She's like, "Oh my God!" This another big
Yeah,
explosion.
another carrot.
It's a memory fabric.
So he
They
looks
feed you oxygen, adrenaline, whatever you need.
he looks even more pitiful in this hospital bed this time. Like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, well, the insurance companies, they don't want you to die, so they're gonna make sure you keep living. He's like, oh, why would you do this to me? He's like, well, we need to test subjects.
Well, no, he needs to protect the thing is, the whole thing with the Lifebomb is that it's an insurance company that protects insurance companies.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So-
the whole thing.
Right. Well,
yeah,
right.
he has like a $15 million death insurance policy.
He's a liability.
That's
to
what it
his,
is, yeah.
to his insurance
So,
company.
Yeah, the guy tells him it's cheaper to keep him alive.
He's
than
worth more
to-
dead.
Yeah, than to let his family cash out. So,
So
they're
it's
just
like,
gonna.
we'll just keep keeping
Yeah.
you alive.
Right, they're purposely looking for people like him that are a problem that typically you would never be able to get the insurance, but that's the goof. Yeah,
Right. Well, they're keeping all these old fogies alive that have like all this life insurance and
Yeah.
all this money that would cash out, and they're like, "No, you're not going to die."
No.
And he's like, "You've got what you've been promised, sir.
Yeah, it's the
You-
I
same
love
thing
that.
he
You're-
said
you're-
to all the family. Yeah,
You're good to go. You're not
Yeah.
going to die now."
I love that. I could throw it back in their face
Yeah.
line. That's great.
And he,
His
he
wife
can't-
leaves him, by the way.
Oh, she's gone. Everybody's gone.
which is a great scene because it you've seen it 100 times, and again, me and Chris have called him Scrooge. Like, it is a very Scrooge-like scene, really, when you think about it. Where his wife is like, "Yeah, I'm either leaving with you or without you. What's your decision?" And he like picks up a call for like the mayor.
Oh yeah, she
And
comes
she's
in.
like, "Fuck that," and she leaves. And he's like, "Oh wait," and then he starts yelling at the
Yeah.
mayor and has another heart
That's
attack.
right. That's
yeah.
right.
Just give him one of those little like sleeping caps and little candle and stuff.
And
Yeah.
done.
There you go.
Give him a golden ticket. That's what he needs.
He got a golden
You there,
ticket,
boy?
never can
What
die.
day is it?
Here, have half a crown. Give me the
It's
biggest
mining
goose in-
accident day. 15 children dead in Nepal.
Let's have a big dinner.
Come on, buy me a goose.
So he's talking to the insurance guy, and he's like, "You got what you've been promising, blah blah blah." And he's like, "You trapped me, you son of a bitch." He's like, "No, you trapped yourself there, kiddo. You could have stopped at any time because you had enough money. You could have enjoyed your family and enjoyed your wife, and now they're all gone, and now they get nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir."
I mean, you opened the box,
and this guy came.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he got too greedy, caught up in himself and his work and everything.
Instead of enjoying the fruits of actual life, you know?
Yeah, and like I do make the Hellraiser joke, but like on some level, you take it a little further because I'm just thinking about this Lifebomb is kind of Hellraiser asking some like poor man's version. You're not really, I think of the remake where that guy had that fucking contraption fucking with his nerves every like minute. It's like this one is just like, well, you just can't die. So it's like you're not getting constant pain, but you can't die. He's like, you're gonna be walking around like a husk. Like, oh, please let it in. Like it's like starvation, or you're completely blown up by a missile, unless you're like, the Smoking Man in X-Files, because then obviously the life bomb will still bring you back. But those are your options. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep coming back again and again.
Yeah, imagine having a heart attack every day.
No.
Exactly. Fuck that.
And that's what he says. He's like, this isn't living, and he's all fucked up in this bed, by the way.
But he could also just quit his job, and that's also like,
well, that's the
commentary.
That's the moral of the
story. He doesn't want to, right?
Or won't do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't living. And he's like, it is by our standards there, kiddo. And he's like, ah, shit.
You got what you're promised.
You got what you've been promised. See ya. And he just leaves, and this poor guy's in the bed.
the next victim.
I wonder how much that guy makes a year.
Not enough.
Not enough.
He's got a red jacket on, so we can assume he's related to hell in some fashion.
It's possible. Maybe. But again, the real monster here isn't the devil. It's the greedy insurance company.
It's society.
It's society.
Corporate America.
It's
capitalism. There it is.
A moral that stands today. 40 years after this first aired.
It works. So what do we think of this?
Nah. It's all right.
You got what you've been promised.
Season 2.
I kind of feel the same way as Chris, actually. Like, talking about it and, like, going through it, like, breaking it down. Like, I feel like I appreciate it more, like, after we just kind of, like, talked about it, like, the nuance of it. But as an actual episode, it's kind of just mediocre.
Yeah. It might even be, like, borderline skip for me.
Oh, really?
I
don't go that far.
Like, it's not terrible, but it's like, it's like I don't have too many good things to say about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, I can't trash it, and it's like not a bad episode.
No.
Also, it feels like a Twilight Zone episode.
I was just going to say, it feels like a Zone or an Outer Limits. You know what I mean? Where again, we said on the last episode that it's more like a sci-fi drama than it is necessarily like a Tales from the Dark Side, like horror based thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would watch this. Like, I would suggest to watch it at least once. But like, if you've seen it a bunch of times, like we have, like you could just skip it. This is definitely the one where you're marathoning and you're working on something and you're not looking up. You know what I mean?
Like, if I want something a little more exciting on the screen, it's like I'll just go find a different episode.
That too.
Well, especially the fucking next one. Why would you wait around with this one playing? Just get right to the next one.
I mean, it's got a good message, and like I think. What I like about it the most is the guy who plays Mr. Martin and the guy who plays the insurance guy. They have good screen presence, and they're pretty decent actors. And I like listening to them talk. Mm-hmm. I love the way the guy talks and the way he like accentuates things and gets all pissed off. The Lifebomb thing is so charming. That shitty CG the shitty stop motion is charming to me. Watch it once, but it's a skipper if you've seen it already, for sure, big time.
I definitely wouldn't go so far as to say just flat out skip, but maybe if you've seen it before, this might be what you're not skipping it because it's like horrible. You're skipping because it's just kind of like a nothing episode. It's just like that's an interesting concept. I'm good,
but it's not compelling as something like The New Man.
Yeah,
Oh no, not even close.
It's like there's other ones that are kind of like on a similar level to this one that have a little more going for it. Like, not saying again that this doesn't have anything, but it's like
it's a little
compared
plotting
to what else is here. It's like I'd rather just watch a different one.
Yeah. Well, it's like a gradual ramp.
Yeah.
It seems, which is kind of strange. You'd think they'd open with a banger and then go down and up, but it kind of goes down, up, down. we'll see.
I don't want to keep referencing that because I feel like now I'm like on the third episode in a row talking about that exact topic. But it's like I do sit here wondering, like, when they plotted out some of the seasons or release order of these episodes, like what was the decision making process? Like, how do they decide, like, okay, these are going to be our opening 2 episodes? And who knows, maybe some of these are like, these first 2 are maybe somebody's favorite episodes. I don't know. But so far it's like, all right, come on, get the ball up the hill, guys. This is the beginning of season 2. This isn't like the end of season 2 where you're already up there.
Yeah.
It's like, I think what they'll do is like, they'll have sort of like, landmark episodes, like episode 5, Halloween Candy.
Yeah.
That was on the 27th. So right before Halloween, you get a Halloween episode.
They were putting all their ducks into that, right? All their ducats.
It shows. We'll get there. But I think for these, it's like, I think they sort of like will have a stronger episode and then follow it up with a weaker one. And then sort of pepper them in, because if you have a bunch of weak episodes together, you're losing everybody.
Oh yeah,
it's like you're not getting a season 3.
Again, I wouldn't say that it's awful or or you know what I mean. Like, it's watchable. Like, I wouldn't be upset with this episode, but it's also not like
it's underwhelming.
Yeah, it's not like it's like blow me away. And especially like we've talked about this too, where like as a series is premiering, you're anticipating these every week, or every other week or something like that, whenever the release schedule was. So like, I wouldn't be upset with this if I got it, but like, it would keep me wanting to see what the next episode was. You know what I mean?
It definitely wouldn't make me want to race to my TV if these were the last 2 or 3 episodes. I would be like, well, we still had 20 something that were really good, so you still got me hooked, but I'd be wavering a little, I guess is my point. And I just wonder why that decision was made. Maybe people at the time liked these more. Maybe it was just like, this is what the plan always was. Shit gets shuffled around sometimes after everything's already been filmed and in the can. So a weird thing I'm just curious about. I wonder if the info's out there and I just haven't looked it up.
And it's like, looking back on this episode and like going into it for this episode, it's like coming up to it, I'm like, oh, Lifebomb. Oh, that episode. And it's like, funny enough, the part that sticks out for me in this, the part I remember, is the stop motion part and like the fireworks show.
Yeah, the big carrot.
So it's like, it's got stuff you remember, but it's like, you're like, oh yeah, it's that episode.
Yeah.
It's like, again, not bad, but it's Lifebomb.
Which is weird because it's also kind of memorable too. So So yeah, that was Lifebomb. And if you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor before you get out of here. Hit like on this video and subscribe if you haven't, please. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. But until next time, I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
And I'm Chris Barr.
Tales from the Dark Side is always there, waiting for us to watch it, waiting for us to hit play. Until next time, try to find it on DVD and watch along with us.